On May 2025, Jamal Roberts was crowned winner of American Idol Season 23, earning national attention overnight. His journey from small-town performances to a global stage revealed years of struggle, rejection, and persistence. Yet victory was only the beginning, not the end of his story. Contracts, money, and sudden fame came with hidden pressures and expectations. What did he gain after that final moment? Stay through this story to uncover what followed behind the spotlight after his historic television win. Jamal Roberts did not begin his journey on a bright stage. He started in a quiet place, far from cameras and fame. His early years were shaped by simple surroundings, where music was not a career plan but a personal escape. Family members often noticed his voice first. It stood out during small gatherings, church events, and local performances. These moments were not grand, but they planted something important. A dream began to form. As a teenager, Jamal took part in small competitions. Some were local talent shows. Others were informal events where the prize was small, but the experience mattered. Each performance brought a mix of hope and fear. And not every attempt ended in success. There were rejections, missed opportunities, times when doors simply did not open. According to many reports about aspiring artists, this stage is common, where talent exists but exposure does not. Jamal faced that reality for years. Financial limits also played a role. Without strong industry connections or major support, progress was slow. Travel, training, and promotion all required resources that were not always available. Still, he continued. He practiced in small rooms. He refined his voice. He studied other artists who had once stood where he stood. Shows like American Idol had already proven that unknown singers could reach millions. Winners from earlier seasons had built careers. Some became global stars. Others struggled. But all of them started with one chance. Jamal wanted that chance. When he finally auditioned, the moment felt different. The room was larger. The judges were watching closely. The pressure was real. But so was his voice. His performance did not just show skill. It showed emotion. It carried years of effort, doubt, and quiet persistence. Judges responded. The audience noticed. For the first time, things began to move faster. Each round brought new challenges, new songs, new expectations. His style evolved. His confidence grew. Viewers began to connect with him. But competition also grew stronger. Other contestants were talented. Some had more experience. Some had larger followings. The margin for error became smaller with each step. Yet Jamal stayed consistent. He improved with every performance. Judges praised his growth. Audience votes kept him in the competition. Slowly, he moved closer to the final stage. But with that progress came pressure. The closer he got to the finale, the heavier the expectations became. Every performance now carried weight. Every mistake could end the journey. And still, he stood there week after week. But as the finale approached, the stakes grew higher than ever before. The final night arrived with bright lights and silent tension. Millions of viewers tuned in. The stage was prepared. The remaining contestants stood just one step away from victory. For Jamal Roberts, this was the moment he had been working toward for years. The finale of American Idol Season 23 was more than a performance. It was a test of everything he had learned. Each song carried meaning. Each note mattered. The audience watched closely. Performances were carefully chosen. Some reflected personal stories. Others showed vocal strength and versatility. Judges gave final feedback, balancing praise with last-minute critique. Every detail counted. Voting played a critical role. Viewers across the country cast their choices. According to the show's format, millions of votes can determine the outcome within a short time. This made the result unpredictable. Backstage, the atmosphere was tense. Contestants waited. Families watched. The silence between announcements felt long. Then the moment arrived. The host stepped forward. Lights dimmed slightly. Names were called. One contestant remained. Jamal Roberts. The announcement changed everything. Applause filled the room. Cameras focused on his reaction. It was a mix of shock and emotion. Years of struggle had led to this single moment. He had won. The victory came with rewards. Typically, winners receive a recording contract, financial prizes, and immediate industry exposure. These opportunities can open doors that were once closed. For Jamal, it meant entering a new world. A world of studios, interviews, and expectations. The celebration was intense, but brief. Media attention followed quickly. Interviews began. Social media reactions spread across platforms. He was no longer just a contestant. He was now a public figure. But history has shown something important. Not every winner turns victory into lasting success. Some fade. Others struggle to adapt. The spotlight can be bright, but it can also be unforgiving. As the celebration slowed, reality began to settle in. Because winning the show was only the beginning. But what came after the celebration was far more complicated than anyone expected. Winning American Idol brought immediate change. Jamal Roberts now had access to opportunities that once seemed distant. A recording contract was one of the most important rewards. It offered a path into the music industry, but it also came with conditions. Contracts in the entertainment world often include strict terms. These can involve creative control, timelines, and financial agreements. According to industry sources, new artists must balance freedom with obligations. Jamal now faced those realities. He entered studios. He worked with producers. Songs were selected carefully. Each decision mattered, as it would shape his first official release. At the same time, financial aspects began to unfold. Prize money, performance fees, and potential endorsements created new income streams. But these also came with expenses. Management teams, marketing costs, and public relations required investment. Fame was not simple. Public attention grew quickly. Interviews, appearances, and media coverage became part of daily life. Every move was now visible, and every decision was judged. The pressure to succeed increased. Fans expected strong music. Critics watched closely. The label expected results. This was no longer a competition. It was a career. Emotionally, the shift was intense. The excitement of winning began to mix with stress. Expectations were high, and the timeline was fast. There was little room for mistakes. Past winners of similar shows had experienced similar challenges. Some succeeded. Others struggled to maintain momentum. The difference often depended on timing, support, and personal choices. Jamal stood at that same crossroads. He had talent. He had exposure. But the path ahead was uncertain. Building a lasting career required more than one victory. It required consistency and resilience. The spotlight remained strong, but behind it, the pressure continued to grow. However, the real test of his success was still waiting beyond the spotlight. As weeks turned into months, the excitement began to settle. Jamal Roberts moved into the next phase of his journey. This phase was quieter but more demanding. It focused on building a career beyond the show. He began releasing music. Each release carried expectations. Fans wanted to hear growth. Industry professionals looked for market appeal. The balance between artistic identity and commercial success became important. Public appearances continued. He performed at events. He appeared on shows. Interviews remained part of his routine. These moments helped maintain visibility, but they also required constant energy. The music industry moved fast. New artists appeared every day. Trends changed quickly. Staying relevant required more than talent. It required strategy, timing, and adaptability. Jamal had to adjust. Emotionally, this period was complex. There was pride in his achievement, but there was also pressure to prove that his success was not temporary. Some winners before him had struggled at this stage. Their initial fame faded. Their music did not reach wide audiences. Industry support shifted. These patterns created uncertainty around Jamal's future. Still, he continued to work. He refined his sound. He connected with fans. He made decisions that shaped his identity as an artist. Each step mattered. Public perception also played a role. Fans supported him, but expectations remained high. Every release, every performance, and every appearance contributed to his reputation. There was no pause. The journey required constant movement. And as time passed, one question began to grow stronger. But the biggest question still remained unanswered. Would his success last, or fade away like so many before him? Time began to reveal the deeper meaning of Jamal Roberts' victory. Winning American Idol was a major achievement. It brought fame, opportunity, and recognition. But the long-term impact was still unfolding. Success in the entertainment world is not simple. Some winners build lasting careers. They release hit songs. They tour globally. They become household names. Others struggle to maintain attention after their initial rise. This pattern has repeated over the years. Jamal's journey stood within this reality. His path would depend on many factors. Industry support, audience connection, and personal choices all played a role. But there was also something deeper. His story represented perseverance. Years of effort led to one defining moment. That moment opened doors that were once closed. Even if challenges remained, the journey itself carried value. Emotionally, the reflection became more complex. Success was no longer just about money or fame. It was about growth, resilience, and impact. Did he inspire others? Did his music connect with people? Did his journey show what persistence could achieve? These questions mattered. The answer was not immediate. It would take time to fully understand what he gained. His legacy was still being written, shaped by every decision and every step forward. And in the end, the true value of his win may not be what anyone expected. Jamal Roberts' story is not just about winning a show. It is about the journey before and after the spotlight, where real challenges begin. If you found this story meaningful, consider subscribing for more real-life stories that reveal what happens beyond success.